What's up, everybody? I've got a 1998 Acura Integra 4-door. It's a manual transmission, and I've had the car about 14 years, and I've got a problem that's happened here lately, and I can't really figure it out. I haven't towed it into a shop yet. I've had a few people come out and look at it, but I haven't really had a lot of success in finding out what I think it might be. So I was hoping that you all out in the Integra community can help me out. So to make this video, basically, what I noticed first, I guess the first thing, I don't know if it's even interrelated, is when I had the clutch all the way engaged, I would hear a little grinding in a couple of my gears, which I've never had that before. I did have the throwout bearing replaced a couple years ago, and I think they were supposed to put a clutch in, but anyway, I was pulling out of a driveway taking a right-hand turn, so I was taking a right-hand turn, and I heard like a clunk clunk. And the type of clunk that it was, it almost felt like two pieces, like if you had a piece of something and another piece, and they were kind of folding on clunkety clunk on top of one another. So it was definitely a weird feeling. I went and I took the wheel off, looked, the axle was demolished, so I replaced the axle, put the car back together, and clunk clunk clunk. Still, it's a serious bucking. I mean, what the car's doing, it bucks like clunk 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 clunk. And I feel like it's over in the, while I'm talking here, I feel like it's over in this part of the car, this area. So I replaced the axle, and and while I was in there, I've noticed the tie rod is hella loose. I mean, it's clunkety clunk. I mean, it's got a lot of play in it, and also like where the rotor is, there's a little bit of play in that. But when I drive it, basically I feel all in this area right in here. It's a bucking. I mean, like I've never had this much of a clunking or a bucking. One thing I did notice, I just backed it out of my driveway a little bit, and let's see, the steering wheel here, like the wheels now are straight, and if I take the steering wheel and go almost all the way around, it seems like sometimes the wheels aren't, it seemed like one time the wheel was just like this, and so it seems like now, when I'm turning the wheel, it's turning just the same, but it felt like one time it jumped like this and the wheels were still straight. So I don't know if it's the rack. You know, I looked online, I'm trying to look online and figure it out. I'm not sure if it's the rack and pinion that can make a sound like, I'm gonna try to video it. Rack and pinion, the transmission mount, the transmission or the clutch, I'm not sure, but it's like it really sounds bad. I don't want to drive the car, and so I'm going to drive it around here, keep the camera inside, and I'm trying to charge up a little bitty camera that I can hopefully stick underneath the hood or down there when I'm driving it, but hopefully we'll be able to hear the sound. And it's really bad, it's pretty scary, but anyway, let's try and see what happens. One was down. So basically, clutch is in. I'm gonna depress it. So far so good. So I'm turning the wheel. Now when I'm letting the clutch out, so we'll get it here in a minute. Now the steering, like I say, is kind of, seems like it has some play in it. But see, there it is. I keep driving it. Hopefully I'm not fucking it up by driving it around the block, but so it's a the car is shaking. There it goes. I don't know if anyone will ever hear that, but it sounds like two pieces clunkety clunk, you know? There it is. So something, I'm gonna let this car get around me. So it feels like, I say, I'm hearing this clunk, 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 clunk. And I replaced the axle. And I know this video is not going to be able to show enough, but the gears are shifting. So I want to say it's not the clutch. But then again, or I mean the transmission, but then I put the clutch in, I get that clunk clunk. I don't know if y'all heard that, but I'm tempted to try to drive it to this shop up the street. It's about a mile away, but it's jerking bad in gear. So that's when I took a right turn. It was vicious, and so my wheel's a little cocked. So the wheel is cocked seriously to the right. So I imagine my steering would pull. So it's a clunk. I definitely want to say it's in the steering. I mean, it really feels like there's a little something. So I don't know if a rack and pinion can make that. But anyway, guys, I know this video is gonna suck. I'm hoping that you can at least hear those clunks. I'm gonna go around, slow down, and see if I can get it without talking the whole time. Alright, so first gear, taking a right turn. Massive clunk. Jerks the whole car. So now I'm back straight. Switching into second. So it's pretty smooth. At times I can shift gears. Alright, I'm going to go in first gear. I'm on a hill. I'm going to let the clutch out. Let's see if we can hear this buck. I'm going to try to be quiet here. Right turn. So I'm in second, just accelerating, going straight. Slow down. I'm gonna go to so when I let off the clutch there, it's a lurch. Let's see, I'm gonna turn a little bit. See, there's that grind in the clutch. It's jumping around. I want to say it doesn't seem to do it with the clutch engaged. All right, let's go again. Reverse. Major clunk when I'm hitting reverse. Clutch is in, and I'm feeling some clunkage with the clutch in. So first gear, clunk. Clutch is still in. Alright, I'm letting the clutch out here. So when the clutch is let out, it's brutal. I mean, so I don't know what's going on. So when I'm releasing the clutch, I feel like that's when I'm getting it the most. And I feel the steering kind of going nutty. So I don't know if that's gonna be a rack and pinion, a clutch, everything at once, but it just, put the clutch in, release it. Third gear. I just don't know, y'all. I'm gonna speed up and then go to neutral. So in neutral, I hear when I go right to left, click, 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 click. But when I'm in gear and let off, it clunk, clunk. So there's clicking with the clutch in side to side, but man, when the gear is depressed and unpressed, it seems like it's, you can hear this, people. Anyway, I'm gonna post this. Maybe someone will have an idea. We'll see.